So this is MuseScore. Right now I'm starting a new file, which gives me a wizard to set up a file. Enter a new name for the file. You can put your composer name in there. You can put the copyright year, lyrics, anything you want to set up the file. Here I'm choosing the instrument. In this case, you go into keyboards and you select a piano, and as you can see, it adds both the treble and the bass clef staff. And then you select a key signature, in this case the key of C, which has no sharps or flats. Here you can select the time signature and the number of measures. We're using the default time signature of 4/4 time. And then it sets up your basic note entry file. We start by selecting, in this case I selected some quarter notes, so I'm entering some quarter notes in the treble clef. If you make a mistake, you can change. Use the undo feature or move a note up or down using the up or down arrows. I'm making a tuplet of 5 notes. See how a tuplet is made. You can make tuplets from anywhere from 2 notes to 9 notes together. Tuplet is basically a whole bunch of notes that play at the same time as the basic note. In this case, they'll play at the time or the duration of a quarter note. You'll see the number 5 in a bracket above the 5 notes. Indicating that it is a quintuplet. Here I'm adding a dotted 8th note followed by a 16th note, 2 8th notes, and finally a quarter note. I go down to the play panel. I can move the play panel anywhere I want to place it. And I listen to it. If I'm not happy with some of the notes, I can change them. I'm going to enter some bass notes here for the left hand. In this case, half notes. And then some quarter notes. So what you've heard is the actual playback of the short composition, 2-measure composition that we just made. And here I'm actually adjusting some of the notes. What you heard is the notes after they were readjusted. Now I'm going into file save mode, and I'm demonstrating 3 different ways you can save the file. In this case, we just saved it so that we can get back to the work and find the composition in our files. And that is just a basic MuseScore file. And the next file is, I believe, the audio file that you can make, which saves it as a WAV file. You go down to WAV and you save it as a WAV file, which is an audio file. And you can convert that to MP3 and play it in iTunes. a permanent copy of the work. Once you're completed with everything and you're happy with it, you can make a PDF to share with publishers and such. Hi folks. What you're listening to here and viewing is the score to my piano concerto piece, which I wrote back in the spring. A concerto is basically an orchestral piece with a featured solo instrument or instruments, in this case a piano. So in this piece we start off with a piano solo. And this introduces a basic theme to this piece. And now the orchestra joins in with a variation on the same theme. And this is a transition. Into a new theme introduced by the oboe and the strings. And now added to by horns and bassoons and strings. Another theme added by the piano. Strings, then winds, then piano. Development of the theme. And back to the original theme with another variation. You'll notice that I've written out trills. In normal notation, trills are written out as a shorthand, but I've written them in long form so that MuseScore would play them in the playback feature. Here's another trill. Another one. More theme development here. Piano solo. It's important to give the solo instrument many areas of playing solo. Of course, full orchestra comes in with yet another theme. And the piano joining in on the same theme with some variation. trill written out. Now we get into a minor key, introduced by the strings, and followed by the winds, and full orchestra and piano. Build up here. Interesting piano solo part here with the flute and oboe playing some simple parts here, and the clarinet joining in. The strings joining in with tremolos, which are not normally written that way, but in order to get the sound on MuseScore, I had to write them that way. Interesting part transition that I wrote here. Eventually you have to get from the minor key back into the major, which is this transition here. Now we're back in major with the same theme from the beginning, only in a variation. And an orchestral solo here with another variation on some of the themes you've heard. Followed by a very simple piano ending to the introductory theme.